everybody, my name is Cruz and welcome back to another video. If you're watching this in real time, then much like the rest of the world, you are experiencing COVID-19, something that I don't think anybody saw getting this crazy and out of hand. You heard the news, you heard all of the stuff that was going on around the world, but you didn't really think it would affect you personally, or at least I didn't think it would affect me personally. But yet here we are in quarantine and unable to go outside and to interact with the rest of the world. So one thing I haven't been open with on my videos is that we're actually in the process of moving. We are in the process of selling our home and moving into a bigger home with our family, and it's a good thing, but it's also been kind of a stressful thing, right? Clearly that whole process has sort of been put on hold because of this whole thing. We were scheduled to have everything finished, closed, and be moving within the next week or two, so we started preparing for that. We started packing our things. I packed up my studio a week ago, so I haven't been able to film content or record music or work on anything musical really since then, thinking that it wouldn't be more than 3 weeks before I could set up a quick little setup again and get back to work. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that, making this process a lot more difficult because I'm in this house quarantined in an empty room that used to have some of my studio gear in it. So being stuck in an empty room that used to have my studio gear in it, not very encouraging, not a whole lot to do, but been spending a little more time with the family, been taking this time to just kind of relax my mind, my thoughts a little bit, and not work on anything. I know the trend is to use this time to work on something that you never thought you would work on or whatever, but you know what? I've been using this time to just sort of mentally take a break. But of course, I got bored in the process, and I looked around and thought, what's something that I've been wanting to work on that I still have access to, but I haven't had an opportunity to actually work on? And that is my pedal board. So I'm going to show you the new pedal board. Let's get to it. So here it is, the brand new pedal board. Now as you can see, it hasn't changed at all in terms of the pedals themselves. I'm using the exact same pedals minus, I think, my tuner pedal. It's much more compact and a little more functional for me personally. Here's a picture of my pedal board before. It was great, it was functional, but there was a lot of wasted space. It was sitting on a pedal train, 22 by 12.5. So clearly there was a lot of space that I wasn't using. So what I did was I built this pedal board itself just with pieces of wood, nothing crazy. And I made it 16 by 11. Initially I thought maybe I couldn't put on the loop switcher here, and I thought maybe I'll just go back to stepping on pedals individually like I used to do. But it worked out actually really well. Even better than I had hoped. So I'm not going to play through this pedal board obviously because I don't really have the means to do that right now, but I am going to walk you through it so you can see what's on here and some of the changes I've made for my COVID-19 pedal board. Under the pedal board itself, I'm powering everything with a True Tone One Spot Pro CS12. That is also powering the HX Stomp as well. I also have a mounted mini patch bay made by This One's Mine, and I just use it for an input output thing. Also mounted underneath the pedal board is the bright switch as well. From there, nothing changes, mainly just the configuration of it all. I eliminated the tuner pedal from here. It's not that I didn't love the tuner pedal, it just was one more pedal that I couldn't fit on here. I started using the tuner on the HX Stomp. I have to be honest with you, I don't love it. I feel like it's, I don't know, I just don't love it. But I also have a clip-on tuner by TC Electronics on my guitar, so I'll start using that on the guitar again as a sort of backup to the tuner that's on here with the HX Stomp. From the input on the mini patch bay, I go directly into the Boss ES5, and of course that still controls everything. I'm using 4 out of the 5 loops currently. In loop number 1, we have the Walrus Audio Deep 6 compressor. Loop number 2, the JHS Morning Glory. Loop number 3, the Wampler Tumnus. And loop number 4, the Ibanez Mini Tube Screamer. I'm using the Boss ES5 in preset mode. So in preset 1 is my clean sound, which just consists of the compressor. And then just to keep in mind, the compressor is always on, so it's actually in every preset. So for example, in preset 2, the compressor stays on and the JHS Morning Glory turns on with it. In preset 3, the Morning Glory turns off and the Tumnus turns on. In preset 4, which I call my crunch sound, I combine the Morning Glory and the Tumnus. In preset 5, it's my solo tone, where I'm actually just using the Tumnus into the Tube Screamer at the moment. I've always liked using the Tube Screamer for cultivating an overall sound and also pushing the mids a little bit. I used to use the pedal as a standalone as well as a drive pedal. I really love Tube Screamers, but I've just fallen in love with that Klon style thing a little bit more. And having both of them on my pedal board and being able to combine them both has been really, really great for me. From there, we come out of the Boss ES5 into the Dunlop Mini Volume pedal. From there, we go into the Digitech Jamman Solo XT. I have a whole video on how I use that, where I load pads in there. Check it out. I'll link it right up here. And then we go into the HX Stomp itself. The Boss ES5 is controlling obviously all of these pedals for me, but I'm also feeding the HX Stomp MIDI. And really the only thing I do with the HX Stomp with MIDI is I give it tempo changes, because I'm currently using the HX Stomp for not just amps, but also delays and reverb. I've reassigned the mute switch on the Boss ES5 to now be the tap tempo switch. Now I'm still using the HX Stomp exactly the same. My input signal has a slight noise gate on it. I then Y split my signal into 2 different amps. One side goes into an AC style amp and one side goes into a Tweed Blue style amp. Then they come back together into one IR, and I'm using the same IR that I've always been using from Live Ready Sounds. From there, I go into a 10-band EQ. It just helps me to tighten up the sound but still leave the bottom end there and focus it with the mid-range a little. And then I go into the Line 6 dual delays. I don't normally like using a dual delay preset. I'd rather have separate delays that I can control, but the dual delay from the HX Stomp gives you the ability to really tweak each delay individually the way you want it, so I'm happy with it. Then from there I go into the Glitz reverb and then out. So if you compare this pedal board walkthrough through my other ones, it's not different, so the sounds are not going to change at all. It's just more compact. It's really, really tiny. 16 by 11 is probably the smallest pedal board that I've had in years. In fact, here's a picture of the smallest pedal board I think I've ever had. That has to be, gosh, I don't know, 8, 9, maybe even 10 years ago at this point. I was using that pedal board just as a run and gun type of a thing, so it was small, but it was effective. I've been very happy with the sound and the tones I've been getting, so I didn't feel a need to update or change any of the pedals, and it just fit on this pedal board perfectly. So probably the only thing that I would consider changing out, because I don't love the tuner on the HX Stomp and I don't like having headstock tuners on my guitars, I would probably consider a volume tuner upgrade. And since I made this a smaller pedal board, I don't quite have room for a normal size volume pedal. So I'd probably go for the modified mini volume pedal by Schnobeltone. I know I've mentioned that in previous videos, so I'm heavily considering that. But for now, since I'm moving, I don't really want to make any big purchases at this moment. I'm going to leave everything as is. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay encouraged out there. Read the Bible, read books, watch YouTube, have fun with this time off. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your alone time. Enjoy your peace and quiet. It's been raining today, so I've been listening to the rain, and it's been nice and peaceful. If you haven't done so, please feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon so you know exactly when I upload a video. Hopefully we'll be moving soon and I'll be able to upload a little bit more often. Thanks again, and until next time.